Right, buddy, in this video I want to talk about how does Sesko compare to Hojlund and Zirkzee. Now, Sesko is the new striker that we brought in at the time of recording. Hojlund is likely to leave. But I thought I'd put his stats in there as well. We'll be talking about non-penalty goals, assists, progressive passes, carries, take-ons, and much, much more. Obviously, when Sesko did sign for United, there was a lot of people saying that he could be a similar Hojlund, relatively inexperienced, scored a few goals in the Bundesliga. And what I think that will not be the case, I kind of do want to have a conversation and discussion about, because it certainly is an interesting topic. The stats are very, very interesting. So yeah, let's talk about that now. In terms of stats for last season, I get them up now. I've got some ones per 90, but I'll talk about what Zirkzee's stats were last season, what Hojlund's were, and what Sesko was. So for Zirkzee, his stats last season were in terms of stats last season, I'll try and get them up now. In terms of what he did, he scored 0.23 non-penalty goals per 90. I'll look just directly in the Premier League. He played 32 matches and got 32 matches, got 3 goals, 1 assist. If you look at Rasmus Hojlund, I think he got 5 goals in the Premier League. Premier League, 32 matches, 4 goals. So again, 4 goals involvement for Hojlund. And then if you look at Sesko, he got 33 matches in the Bundesliga, 13 goals. So a considerably better stats from him. 4 goals from Zirkzee, 5 from Hojlund, and 13 from Sesko, which is pretty good. And let's get into the kind of nitty-gritty in terms of stats. Now, in terms of non-penalty goals per 90, 0.43 for Benjamin Sesko, 0.23 for Zirkzee, and 0.3 for Hojlund. So listen, Sesko has the best non-penalty goals ratio. Again, isn't good. He's averaging less than 1 goal per 90, but again, it's a better ratio. It's certainly a ratio that can work. And if you look at what Sesko's best stats are, which we will talk about next. Now, in terms of assists, 0.09 for Zirkzee, 0.16 for Sesko, and 0.06 for Hojlund. What you can say there for all 3 strikers, assist isn't really something that's, again, I'm surprised about Zirkzee's really. I think for the player that he is, surprised that he didn't get more assists. But Sesko and Hojlund, I kind of knew they wouldn't get that many assists with the players that they are. I think Sesko is someone who's obviously a striker, so more close to the goal. Now this is the one that I really want to look for. Progressive passes per night. So this is like how many passes they're making that are kind of getting into the other third. And this is Zirkzee's main stat really, 2.98 per 90, Sesko 1.5, and Hojlund 0.96. So again, progressive passes does seem like a very, very good trait in Sesko. He's able to drop deep and make passes in behind, which again is something that you want to see. Progressive carries, 1.68 for Sesko, 1.02 for Zirkzee, and 1.2 for Rasmus Hojlund. So again, progressive carries is something that Sesko is really good at. You can see picking up the ball from deep, driving through midfield is a very, very good trait that he has. He's a very powerful runner. He's energetic. And again, that's something that you want to see from your striker. I think energy is something that you need. You need someone that can run with the ball. And we did see it at times with Rasmus Hojlund and times with Zirkzee as well, and particularly in Hojlund's first season. And was it the goal he scored against Galatasaray? We just haven't seen that enough. You see it from a lot of good strikers. Harry Kane was the master, right? He would drop deep, play passes in behind, carry the ball as well. And I think that's something that you need to see. But again, we've got players who can also do that in Cunha and Mbeumo in the team as well. Bruno isn't the best ball carrier in terms of carrying the ball. But again, you have players like Zirkzee and Sesko there as well as Hojlund if he stays, to kind of help with that sort of role. Now, in terms of successful take-ons, 0.84 for Hojlund, for Zirkzee per 90, 1.33 for Sesko, and 0.33 for Rasmus Hojlund. So Hojlund's very, very poor at taking on players, which again is something that we've seen. He totally likes to back into players, isn't really the greatest physically. So yeah, that is a pretty poor stat really by Rasmus Hojlund. 1.33 for Sesko, I think I'm excited by that. I think the fact that he can take on players is a good thing. He's averaging more than 1 per 90. So yeah, that's really the latest on that. So they're the stats. Listen, I think Sesko will be a very, very good signing for Manchester United. I'm hopeful. Again, his stats might not be the best, but he scored 8 more goals than Hojlund and 9 more goals than Zirkzee in the Bundesliga. Again, the Premier League is a much tougher league, and it's a tougher league to adapt to. I'm hopeful for what we've seen so far, Sesko done so far, and what we've seen at United so far with Hojlund and Zirkzee. He can be a massive improvement. Again, there's a lot of pressure. There's a lot of hope that there's a lot of hope and optimism that he can become a very, very talented player. So yeah, let's see what happens there. But that has been the latest update. On Sesko, Zirkzee and Hojlund. Again, I think Hojlund will leave. And I think Sesko and Zirkzee can be two very, very good players for Manchester United. But I just wanted to do a video, see how they compared, look at their stats. I mean, Sesko's were considerably better than Hojlund and Zirkzee's, which again was probably expected. Again, you have to take into consideration he is doing it in the Bundesliga, which is a much more slower league compared to the Prem. But hopefully he comes in, hits the ground running, and does a very, very good job, because I'm excited to see what does happen with Sesko in this team. And you also got Zirkzee there as well. But yeah, let me know your thoughts. There's been me comparing the stats. I think what we've been missing, hopefully Sesko can add to the team. And yeah, we move from here. So thanks for watching.